What do I have here? Oh, this is a SCSI2SD 5.5 mini. So this is a SCSI to SD converter, so you can put SD cards in this. One thing I didn't know is these take the micro SD. I thought it took the large SD, like the one in my Kurzweil. But yeah, with these 5.5s, you just plug them in. So a stock Ensoniq, you got to run power to this thing. So you'll have a power cable. If you leave the keyboard on a desk and it never goes anywhere, I guess it's not that big of a deal. This thing gets put up. It goes in a flight case. So this would be kind of a pain hooking power up and stuff. Okay, so it's on, storage disk, SysX disk, here's SCSI, and now we got a beacon light here. So we got power. The first thing we need to do is flash this so it knows which section of the SD card is each drive ID, because basically this is the same thing as 4 hard drives. The keyboard is going to recognize this as 4 drives. So by flashing this, you're basically saying, hey, this sector and this sector is you. You know, you're slicing the SD card up so the 4 drives can share it, basically. This is my Kurzweil K2000. This was the first SCSI to SD drive that I got. Kurzweil only supports 2 gig partitions, so this drive came to me already flashed by Scott from Synth Plus. He is eBay seller Synth Plus. He is a Kurzweil expert, and I got this from him. The K2000 will read Akai, Roland, and Ensoniq format. I have Ensoniq disk images, so what I wanted to do was make me some Ensoniq SD cards for this. Hey, it'll read them, and wouldn't it be cool? Here's what I did to get the Ensoniq format on the SD card. We have a USB cable coming off of the computer. We are going to plug this into the SCSI to SD. There's a program called SCSI to SD utility. What I want to do here is read the flash off of the Kurzweil. So I'm going to go up here to File and click Load from Device. What this program is doing is it's reading all of the flash information that Scott from Synth Plus put on here. So this is how my Kurzweil device is flashed. General settings. Device 1 is our first drive partition, saying all kinds of information like start sector, which is 0. Now these settings can be totally customized. Here's device 2, which is the drive 2 partition on our SCSI card. Drive 3, drive 4. This number right here tells you which SCSI ID is going to show up as in the synthesizer. So now that this information is loaded, you want to go up here and click Save to File. And what this is going to do is it's going to save this flash information to an XML file, which can be loaded up later. Let's go ahead and save that to desktop. So now we have a saved XML file of my Kurzweil drive. I just called it untitled. Let's just go ahead and flash our new SCSI device that we're going to use on the Ensoniq. Here it is. There's the USB port. I'm trying to do this with one hand. It's going to plug in right there. Now our new device is connected to the computer. Let's start our SCSI to SD utility again. We want to load up our Kurzweil drive sector information. Go to File, Open File. Here's our untitled XML that came from the Kurzweil. Double click, and it loaded up all of the settings that the Kurzweil drive has. All of this device stuff is the same. The Ensoniq TS12 will be on SCSI ID 3. I think the Kurzweil is up on ID 6 or something, so it doesn't matter on the Kurzweil that I put drive 1, drive 2, drive 3, drive 4. SCSI devices have their own little ID number. Since the TS12 is ID 3, we can't have drive 3 on ID 3. So what we want to do here, device 1, I'm going to go and make that 0. Device 2, we're going to make 1. Device 3, we're going to make that one 2. And device 4 will stay device 4. So we're going to have drive 0, drive 1, drive 2. The TS12 is in ID 3 and drive 4 is in ID 4. Now, all of this information here, we want flashed to our new drive. Go up here to File, Save to Device. And when you click this, boom, it's flashing our new drive. And that is complete. We can close this program out. Let's go ahead and unplug our new drive. So now our drive is flashed. Now let's go back to the Kurzweil before we had this. This was my process for making the Ensoniq SDs, okay? Put the SD card in. disk, drive 1, 2, 3, 4. Since this is a brand new card, put it on drive 1. Format SCSI drive 1. Yes. This will overwrite everything. Continue. Yes. Are you sure? Are you really sure? Yes, I'm really sure. Now the Kurzweil is formatting drive 1's section of this SD card. There's a reason I'm doing this. I'm just showing you the progression of how I did this. Drive 1 is formatted. Drive 2, format. Yes. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure, man. Drive 2's done. Forgive the display. It's a camera reaction thing. Drive 3, format. Yes. The reason for doing this is the Chicken System program translator will recognize all 4 of these partitions as separate drives. Drive 3 is done. Drive 4, format. Shut up. That's my phone that's always chiming if you don't understand what the bell is. I should shut that thing off when I'm doing videos. Now that these 4 drives are formatted in its own little section of the SD card, the Kurzweil will now use those partitions as independent drives. And also, like I said, programs like Translator will see the 4 drives. That was my reasoning for formatting the 4 sections on this Kurzweil. Because when you just put this straight into Translator, it only sees it in 1 drive. Now I'm sure there's a way to make Translator partition this and everything, but I don't quite know how to use Translator 100%. I know how to use it just enough to get by. Let's grab our SD card. I want to show you a secret with Apple MacBooks. A lot of times you put these in there and it just will not read. It's kind of like the SD card is locked. A trick with these is slide the lock into the center position, maybe just slightly towards the unlock. And when you do that, it usually won't do that drive lock stuff. I sat here forever one day, pulling the drive out, putting it back in, and it still wouldn't write to it. It was write protected. So that's the secret, guys. It works almost every time. If the MacBook doesn't show it as a writable device, just pull it out and move that little pen a little bit. It's slightly off center. When you put that in the computer, the MacBook recognizes the first Kurzweil partition because Kurzweil formats in FAT16. So SCSI drive 1 is right here. If you wanted to put Kurzweil sound files in this, you could do it just like a normal drive. You know what I mean? But that's only on SCSI ID 1. So in order to make your Ensoniq SD card, you have to have some Ensoniq files or an Ensoniq CDR image or something. This is Ensoniq CDR15 LA Riot. But real quick, on the MacBook, I have Toast Titanium right here. If your disk images are in bin format, it will convert those to ISO. You need these in ISO. Now, Garth from Chicken Systems told me that Translator will read bin also. I couldn't get it to do that. I'm not a Translator power user, so I don't know how to do that. Get your CD-ROM into ISO format. What we're going to do next is go into Library, Application Support, Chicken Systems, Translator 6, free is what I'm using. Open that up. There's a folder here called Images. And that's where you put your Ensoniq CDR images. All right, let's take our CDR15 over here to Images. Drop. Images folder has our Ensoniq CD image in it. You have to do this because Translator 6 won't see the image if you don't. Let's open Chicken Systems Translator. Start Translator 6 free. Why, yes. I want to say, guys, this software is real temperamental. On my computer, anyways, I see people complaining about this software a lot. But I want to tell you, man, it's one of the only things that can speak Ensoniq Alien. So it's a very useful tool to have. In a lot of cases, it's the only way to do stuff. When I made my Ensoniq disk, Translator showed the 4 partitions as 4 individual drives right here. But as you can see, it's only recognizing the first partition for some reason. Maybe this is because I didn't load my XML file. Let me do that. Inside of Translator, I went to the SCSI to SD partition map settings. This might make sense because it's just showing the first ID here and it's kind of blank. So we're going to load XML. The XML is the SCSI to SD settings that we pulled pulled off of the Kurzweil earlier. So that was on my desktop, untitled XML. So translator loaded that information up here. I'm going to click apply. I clicked refresh and boom, our 4 Kurzweil partitions are showing up. Now this Kurzweil step isn't necessary. You can just take your SCSI to SD flash XML, put it inside of translator and go ahead and format your 4 partitions to Ensoniq. This is just how I did it. What I did is I clicked on one of the Kurzweil partitions from the SD card, went up to operations, over here to format, it's showing the 4 partitions. Here in the format settings, we are formatting to Ensoniq EPS ASR. I don't want to specify a size. I put that at 0. I don't know if that's going to work, but I did select SCSI to SD settings. Maybe it will recognize that. Create formatting proprietary disk. Are you sure you want to format your SD card? Next. Waiting. Are you absolutely sure you want to format? Yes. Okay, for the last time, are you absolutely sure you want to format your SD card? Yes. Format. Okay, it's doing ID 1, ID 2. You see how this thing's a little glitchy? It works, but you just got to be careful with translator, man. That baby will just lock up, you know what I'm saying? Just be real slow with it. And Ensoniq format complete. Okay, and now we have 4 Ensoniq partitions over here. Let's grab one of them and get the disk info, see what's going on. So see here, it's saying total space 2 GB. So it did work. We are in Ensoniq format on our 4 partitions. We have 4 2 gig partitions. Now we have this step done. Right here on virtual drives, since we put our CDR15 inside of the images folder in the chicken systems directory, look in this Ensoniq folder, has already recognized it as Ensoniq, and here's our CDR15 LA Riot. It's showing you the directories that are on this Ensoniq CDR. So let's look inside LA Riot. See, I double clicked that and it brought this up and I don't even want to mess with that. Cancel. It's always best to work over here in translator, I've found, because you go messing around over here too much, you'll get on a page you don't want to be on. LA Riot, click down. We see Dr. Dre over here. And over here's our Ensoniq partitions on the SD card. One-handedly, I'm going to grab Dr. Dre here and drag it over to our first Ensoniq partition. Grab Dre, hold it over first Ensoniq, drop. Translator is now reading from your Ensoniq CD image and it's writing these files to your SD card. Now I will say this, doing this with my entire Ensoniq library took about 2 days. But yeah, it's kind of slow as molasses, but it's working. When you work with translator on your own hard drive, it works extremely fast. So what would be a better option? You can create a virtual Ensoniq image with translator on your hard drive and translator will write it a lot faster. However, if you make this 2 gig image, you have to flash it to a sector using DD commands in terminal. So that starts getting real complex also. If you want to wait for translator to write those files to the SD card, you're good to go. You can just pull this card out, stick it in a SCSI to SD that's on an Ensoniq, and it will read it. Take your new micro SD that you bought for your Ensoniq. This is a big SD adapter. That is if you need this, if your computer is the large SD. You slide the little one in there, put that in the computer. It'll show up on the screen just like if it was a full-size SD card. Now your micro SD is ready to go into your SCSI to SD. Let's plug this thing in, man. Dude, I love this user bank I have loaded in this thing. It's freaking hilarious. There's all kinds of stuff in here, man. Anyways, storage disk, SCSI disk, sysx, we want SCSI. We're jumping to ID 1. That shows status. Let's hit load. This is the stuff we have on this partition. Best service. That's horns or something. CD4, CDR1, 2, you know. I don't quite know how to do the directory system on this yet. I'm going to learn. When I'm going through the directories, anytime I want to get out, I exit back all the way to this page. There's a way you can navigate through the directories better. splitter. ID2, ID3 is the actual TS itself, ID4. So each of these IDs is like having a hard drive. It's like a 2 gig hard drive. CDR15 LA Riot. Yes, please. DJ Dre, man. Yeah. Something else I noticed too, guys. This thing would only load 4,000 per sample bank. But since I put SCSI in here, it'd go 8,000 per sample bank, which should equal out to be like 16 megabyte. But I don't know how it's doing that because the TS maxes out at 8 megabyte. I don't understand how it's loading more sample data now just by putting a SCSI card in it. That's a pretty big file, that Dre 90. Before I put the SD card in here, it wouldn't load that because that's taken up. I have 2 sample banks and it's only 4,000 limit each and I can't split them. So this thing wouldn't have loaded that, but now it will. What kind of files we got on here? Let's do a big one, man. 7624. And then it says, where do I want to put it? And it's saying I got 8114. Before the SCSI card, that was 4,000. And I have this per bank. I got bank 8 and 9. I've filled bank set 8 up, and it still says I have 8,000 on 9. You Ensoniq guys might say, hey, that's blocks. It ain't bytes and all of this stuff. But dude, that 7,000 file that we're loading right now, this 7600 on my computer, it would be like 7.6 megabytes. So on the TS series, it might not be going in blocks. All I know is I have twice as much memory as I did before I put the SCSI card in it. Boom. What's up, Dre? Yeah. Now, I want to say, man, this might not be Dr. Dre. I noticed it said DJ Dre. If it's not Dr. Dre, my bad. It's just like, he's the most popular Dre. So we just loaded this file, right? And it's telling you the size of the file. But check this out, just so you know what I'm talking about. Let's go to a different disc. Let's go to 16 dance, okay? Drum kits, TR909. Now that's his 3416, right? I have 490 free on the bank we just loaded in, which is S8. Let's go to 9. And it says I got 8191 free over here in 9. So I could just put it there and it's loading this other file, dude. Heck yeah, man. And this is fast too. These huge files loading from this drive right here would take a while. And they would have to be in parts. You know, it would say, insert floppy 2, insert floppy 3. You'd be sitting here for 5 minutes loading that Dre thing. All right, so we put this in S9. Real TR909, huh? Thank you so much for checking out this video, guys. Hopefully it was useful. I tried to do the best I could to explain stuff. That is it for now, though, and I will see you next video.